This is the evening news. In tonight's headlines, Guyana improves competitiveness ranking, Education Month to focus on promoting literacy, Guyana to showcase agricultural potential at the Caribbean Week of Agriculture. I'm Michael Young. Thanks for joining us for your Thursday, September 5, 2013 edition of the evening news. Now for the news in detail. The just-released Global Competitive Index report of the World Economic Forum shows that Guyana has improved its ranking. According to the report, Guyana now ranks 102. For the 2011 to 2012 reporting period, Guyana was rated and ranked 109 out of 142 countries scored. The 2012 to 2013 reporting period put Guyana at 102 out of 148 countries assessed. The reports highlighted corruption, tax rates, inadequately educated workforce, crime and theft, and insufficient government bureaucracy, as well as inefficient government bureaucracy, as some of the most problematic factors for doing business. A packed agenda is scheduled for this month as Guyana joins the other countries to observe Education Month 2013 under the theme Transforming Classrooms for the 21st Century. Sabatini Daniels reports.
Two major activities are planned for Education Month: Give a Book and Drop Everything and Read, which are in recognition of World Literacy Day observed on September 8. As such, the Education Ministry has invited all Guyanese to participate in these initiatives, which are both being coordinated on Monday, September 9, 2013. The Give a Book campaign 2013 is organized by the Ministry with a goal to raise awareness of the importance of reading, primarily among young people. Regardless of the age, content, or format of the book, all are being asked to give a book to someone to encourage reading. Meanwhile, in acknowledgement that reading is fundamental to function in today's society and to develop the mind, the Ministry urges all Guyanese to also participate in the Drop Everything and Read campaign, which will begin on Monday, September 9 at 11 a.m. The Ministry is partnering with the media to carry out this initiative to make it a success. Persons are encouraged to read something, anything, at 11 a.m. on Monday. As such, most television stations will put their regular programming on hold for 15 minutes to broadcast reading materials, while other creative methods will be improvised on radio. Some of the other activities planned for the month are a rally for education from Parade Ground to QC on September 13, a workshop Transforming Minds from September 16 to 17, literacy showcase on September 18, TVG Open Career Fair at Ministry of Education Ground on September 26, among several others. Sabatini Daniels reporting for the Evening News.
The Region 6 Education Department on Wednesday launched its month of activities to celebrate Education Month. Speaking at the launch, Deputy Regional Executive Officer of Region 6, Imran Ali, said that the activities to commemorate Education Month in the region are being held under the theme Transforming Classrooms in the 21st Century. Ali noted that educators need to be agents of change in order to keep up with the demands of the 21st century. He added that in the 21st century, students and education have undergone change and thus learning tools have to evolve. Ali noted that in today's world, most students already have 21st century technology at their hands. Knowing how to use the technology is important, but more than that, educators must find ways to integrate that technology into the curriculum. In recent years, education has become the #1 priority for the government. This year, some $28.7 billion is being spent on the education sector, while $26.5 billion was spent last year. The Health Ministry's Standard and Technical Services Department today launched a 5-year national plan for infection prevention and control with the support of the Pan American Health Organization and the U.S. Government Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. Svetlana Marshall reports.
In the presence of the U.S. Embassy Charity Affairs Brian Hunt, the acting director of the U.S. Government Center for Disease Control and Prevention, CDC Guyana, and chief executive officer of the Georgetown Public Hospital, Michael Kahn, the 5-year plan was launched. Director of Standards and Technical Services, Dr. Julian Amsterdam, said the plan seeks to reduce the transmission of health-associated infections in health facilities. The initiative, which took effect in 2012, has 8 primary components, which focuses on preparation and dissemination of technical guidelines and training and provision of human resources.
The Ministry of Health is committed to providing a higher quality of life for the population by preventing healthcare-associated infections. The goal of minimizing healthcare-associated infections in our healthcare facilities can only be realized through commitment and rigorous execution of roles and responsibility by our healthcare workers and managers at all levels.
In addition to the National Plan for Infection Prevention and Control, GPHC launched its Infection Control Manual, which will aid in the successful execution of the 5-year plan. As a result, the manual was designed to teach persons how to collect data, analyze the information, and transfer it into relevant action plan. A key component of the plan focuses on preventing the spread of tuberculosis and HIV/AIDS. CDC Guyana Acting Director said the plan birthed out of an assessment conducted by PAHO back in 2009.
$1 invested early and well in TB prevention will mean tens of dollars of savings later. So more importantly, this investment, as we see it, will save lives and prevent needless suffering. So controlling the spread of tuberculosis might not seem like the most exciting thing to talk about or to celebrate because it involves, as you heard earlier this morning, masks and building designs and fans and hygienes and things that are not necessarily so exciting to talk about. It involves listening for that cough in the waiting room and moving the patient away from others. It involves constant vigilance. It's not a one-off surgery. It's not delivering a newborn child. It's not reattaching a severed limb or treating a heart attack. But if you've ever spoken to a doctor that has watched a person waste and die from multi-drug resistant tuberculosis, they get pretty excited talking about prevention.
According to the CDC Acting Director, the plan of action serves as a roadmap to reducing the transmission of health-associated infections in health facilities, noting that the CDC stands willing to work with the Health Ministry to fulfill its objective. Reporting for the Evening News, I am Svetlana Marshall.
Join us after these messages. More news on the other side of the break. Welcome back. You're tuned to the Evening News. 1 Guyanese and 2 Jamaicans are facing criminal charges for entering the U.S. illegally by shore. The men were found in South Beach, Florida, and it was discovered that they were previously deported from the U.S. As such, the Guyanese Suidiel Ramrup and Jamaicans Damian Mundell and Michael Anthony Johnson all faced a charge of illegal re-entry after deportation of a felon. In the wee hours of August 29, the 3 men were found a distance away from South Beach and are believed to be from a second wave of illegal immigrants. The Guyanese was deported from the U.S. in 2002 after he admitted to being an illegal immigrant, while Mundell was deported in 2011 after he had served a 2-year prison sentence for the usage of marijuana. Johnson, the other Jamaican, was deported in April 1996. However, he returned to the U.S. and was removed again in 2003. In 2002, he was convicted of illegal re-entry after deportation and served 36 months imprisonment. On August 28, 9 Haitians were taken into custody after they were found in the same area. The Ministry of Health, with external partnership from the Banting and the Best Diabetes Center at the University of Toronto, Orbis International and the Pan American Health Organization, has commenced the drafting of a proposal aimed at scaling up diabetes care in Guyana. Details in this Svetlana Marshall report.
With the primary objective of containing and preventing diabetes, the Health Ministry, with support from its international partners, commenced the drafting of a proposal for Phase 3 of the Guyana Diabetes Care Project. Speaking with the press at Project Dawn, where consultants met, the Health Ministry's Chronic Disease Coordinator, Dr. Karen Gordon-Boyce, said Phase 3 will be a new multifaceted intervention to improve services offered to Guyanese.
We're aiming to work in diabetes and pregnancy diabetic care, retinopathy, public health education and health promotion, so people can change their behaviors, expanding the regions where we have diabetic foot centers. So we're considering region 7, 8, and 9, maybe 1. We have to decide on which are the best regions to expand into.
The team of expertise has until January to submit the proposal to the World Diabetes Foundation to acquire funding for the initiative. Based on the success of the first 2 phases, she expressed optimism that the plan will be approved, noting that it will be able to address the various deficiencies within the system.
We can do with a lot more professionals who are trained in, specifically in managing NCDs. We can do with a lot more equipment. We can do with some more specialist equipment. We want to be able to really boost our primary healthcare, the primary healthcare aspects of managing chronic diseases and diabetes included. That's first. And I think phase 1 and 2 started that. We just need to have it in more regions, more readily available, more easily accessible.
Orbis International representative Joan MacLeod explained that eye care treatment will be a new addition to the project.
We are in phase 3 going to incorporate vision care as part of the diabetic care, because this is a complication of diabetes, and as my colleagues have said, a lot of diabetics are sometimes not even diagnosed. 50% in the world, and also perhaps in Guyana, don't know they have it. It's symptomless. The eye problems are symptomless until they become very, very severe, and then it becomes a bigger problem to reverse the eye care.
The Guyana Diabetes and Foot Care Project has collaborated with Canadian and Guyanese health professionals for the past 5 years. The collaborative approach has resulted in sustained reduction of major diabetes-related amputations by over 50% at the Georgetown Public Hospital. Additionally, comprehensive and integrated management of diabetes and hypertension have improved significantly in regions 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 10. Reporting for the Evening News, I'm Svetlana Marshall.
The humanitarian aid program through the U.S. Embassy here has gifted the Animal Health Laboratory 5 microscopes valued US $5,000 to assist in their effort in removing parasites from livestock. Agriculture Minister Dr. Leslie Ramsamy and the Guyana Livestock Development Authority Chief Executive Officer Dr. Dindiel Permal on Wednesday received the items from HAP Director Melanie Collins and Project Manager Sharon Hudson. Dr. Ramsamy said that the government is endeavoring to ensure that it builds a comprehensive animal health laboratory so that not only the government can provide safe and quality food for its people, but also ensure that its people meet the sanitary and psychosanitary standards that allow them to export the animals from Guyana. He stated that this is another major exporter of meat products and milk to the Caribbean and other countries. Sabatini Daniels joins us to report that the Haruru Village Council and the Bauxite Company of Guyana, Inc. today signed a lease agreement which will see the community renting an additional 155.5 square acres of land to the company.
The Village Council will receive $1.1 million per month from the BCGI, which it will utilize to develop the community, while BCGI will construct a new mine and infrastructural facilities at Kurukubuka 22. Speaking at the signing ceremony, Natural Resource and Environment Minister Robert Prasad said the activity demonstrates that investment, development and utilization of the natural resource can coexist in harmony.
Achieving that type of balance and that type of cooperation and that type of working relationship, especially when we talk about indigenous communities and large mining companies, has always been an issue that require much attention. It's also a delicate one, and one in which that we should always proceed with highest caution as well as highest respect for the various parties.
Prasad said the agreement also reflects government's commitment to ensure it pursues development without the expense and interest of any community and the preservation of the environment.
The utilization of our natural resources must be done in a way in which we are able to address the competing objectives of the economic objectives as well as the environmental objectives, but very importantly from the community standpoint, the social objectives. And this agreement that is being brokered and signed here reflects that adherence in terms of ensuring that the various objectives are addressed, are met, and the various parties feel comfortable and feel enabled to pursue the various activities.
Meanwhile, Amerindian Affairs Minister Pauline Sukai also recognized that the agreement comes after much challenges between the parties, which her ministry worked to iron out. Tushao of Hururu Village, Winsberg Benjamin, said he hopes the relationship between the parties will continue to ensure further development.
So that we could have that relationship closer and closer, so that Hururu could be able to achieve from the company that the money that they would give to us after we signed this agreement. For the past years, we have a lot of good works that have been done there at Hururu. We have the secondary private school. We use the money for that and other resources.
BCGI Managing Director Sergi Kostyuk noted too that the company's works will provide numerous jobs for the indigenous community. In 2005, the Hururu Village Council leased land to Rusal. Since then, the company has been paying approximately $1.3 million per month. The community's road has also been leased to the company for $1.1 million per month. Sabatini Daniels reporting for the Evening News.
The Regional Administration of Region 4 is making progress with the works it has to complete before the end of the year, but it is experiencing a few hiccups at various locations across the region. Samuel Supnandan interviewed the regional chairman and filed this report.
Regional Chairman of Region 4, Clement Curlett, says that his administration is working to ensure that its work plan for the year is accomplished, especially in the areas of health, education and public works. Curlett told his newscast that there are a few issues being addressed through the Works Committee of the local RDC. The regional chairman said he is not pleased with the infrastructural works.
I am not too pleased with the level of execution. A lot of work are still far behind time. The exact percent, but I think more than 50% of work are behind time. In the public work sector, and to some extent in the education sector, some works are still going. They're trying to put the finishing touches to them.
Meanwhile, Curlett noted that progress is being made in maintaining health services centres within the region. This, he said, is important to ensure proper accommodation and by extension helps to provide better healthcare services.
A number of health sectors also have been under repairs and maintenance, and they're in their varying degrees of completion for those works. But their money, I think, is $20 million that has been committed to bring about or to maintain an optimum standard of health service delivery.
The regional chairman also noted that a lot of attention is also paid to have schools maintained and repaired, and this too is progressing smoothly. He added that while there have been concerns raised at the beginning of this week regarding certain schools within the region being unprepared to open, these works are to be completed soon. According to him, these issues are likely to be ironed out, and hopefully by the end of this year, almost all will be completed to ensure that the RDC continues with other programs. For the Evening News, I'm Samuel Suknandan.
Join us after the break for more news. Welcome back. You're tuned to the Evening News. Head of the Presidential Secretariat, Dr. Roger Luncheon, has said that there are several reasons why the President may not have assented to two bills after it left the parliamentary chambers. Whitney Passaud reports.
Cabinet Secretary Dr. Roger Luncheon says that there are several reasons as to why President Donald Ramotar may not have assented to a few bills, despite inaccurate reports that are being circulated. To this end, Dr. Luncheon expressed the view that more investigation should be done to determine the true reason for this. He said in some cases the President may not be in possession of the bills. This is one such reason why no assent has been given. He recalled that Presidential Advisor Gil Teixeira has had cause to reflect on the constitutional provision and procedures used to assent bills.
You might recall that Presidential Advisor Ms. Teixeira, did have cause to reflect on constitutional provisions on the procedure. The Parliament concluded the preparation of the, I suppose you have to call it the enacted bill, and then the Chief Parliamentary Counsel in the Ministry of Legal Affairs confirming that this indeed reflects what transpired, what was agreed to in Parliament, and if it were not so, to engage the attention of the Parliament and the parliamentary officials in making the appropriate corrections.
He explained that before a document is enacted by the President, it also has to be sent to the Legal Affairs Minister and Attorney at Law to ensure that the lawful guidelines are being followed before one can go ahead with the bills. The opposition has expressed dissatisfaction at President Ramotara's non-assent to several bills, the local government bill being the most recent. The President, after careful consideration, decided that he will not assent to previous opposition piloted bills. For the evening news, Whitney Prasad.
The Guyana Telephone and Telegraph Company said contractors and persons involved in the execution of several works continue to disrupt telephone and data services in several regions across the country and have resulted in damages to its cables infrastructure during the excavation process. The telephone giant said in a release today that more recently businesses including GBTI, Republic Bank, Quartz Guyana, the Guyana Police Force and residential services along the east bank of Marara, particularly in the Diamond Grove area, have been severely affected due to the ongoing excavation works by third-party contractors. GT&T said it has requested for government and civil contractors to contact the company before undertaking excavation or civil works that would likely be in the path of its cable infrastructure. The company is hoping that there are no further occurrences. The Caribbean will showcase its rich and diverse food-producing capabilities during the month of October at the Guyana International Conference Center as it celebrates Caribbean Agriculture Week 2013. Whitney Prasad has details in this report.
Agriculture Minister Dr. Leslie Ramsamy has reiterated his position on growing and producing more within the region, thus eliminating importation of foreign products. The minister, during an interview with this newscast, said persons are unaware of their own country's ability to produce agricultural food products.
Making people aware, because there are lots of people, for example, in the Caribbean who's unaware that Guyana could supply them with all their broccoli and cauliflower. Lots of people who are unaware that right here in the Caribbean we can produce all the potato and onions that we need, and we do not have to spend millions of US dollars importing from outside of CARICOM. There is a second component of learning from each other. There is no reason why some farmers are getting 1 ton of cassava per acre, while some farmers are getting 20 tons per acre. For the same investment, for the same labor, one is getting 20 times more than the other. These are some of the showing off part, learning and sharing. There is a third part, which is science-based and which is also intended to improve trade.
In addition to this, he said some 30 workshops will be hosted from October 4, and according to him, the entire week of activities will also give investors an opportunity to see what Guyana has to offer. This will help the country greatly to show off its produce and showcase how technology has advanced
and improved yields, while at the same time giving participants the opportunity of learning more. The minister noted that this is an opportunity for the Caribbean to realize that Ghana can produce all their broccoli and cauliflower without having the need to spend millions of dollars to import from the United States. The Caribbean Week of Agriculture, which is the premier agricultural event on the region's calendar, will bring together stakeholders for a week of activities to promote agriculture and the agri-industry via policy dialoguing, learning sessions, and an exhibition showcasing yield of the sector. The seminars will be attended by farmers, officials, technical officers, and ministers from across the Caribbean. While seminars will commence earlier in the week, the actual opening of CAW will open on October 9 with 3 days of exhibition. For the Evening News, Whitney Prasad.
Join us after these messages. The Evening News Sport is next. Welcome back. You're tuned to the Evening News Sport. The Georgetown Interward Basketball Tournament will tip off on Saturday at the Cliff Anderson Sports Hall, and from all indications, an exciting and keenly contested competition is in the making, according to the Public Relations Officer Kirk Jagneride. Avinash Ramzan reports.
The tournament will feature 16 teams from various communities, with all games being played at the Cliff Anderson Sports Hall from Saturday. Public Relations Officer of the tournament, Kirk Jordan, said the tournament promises a high level of excitement as interward rivalry coupled with the team's large fan base has always generated interest and hype.
What we've done is we've allowed each team 2 guest players. So each ward can have 2 guest players of who normally play regularly, like 2 national players. Or even if it's an overseas player that is in Guyana during the tournament, they're not barred from the tournament. So each ward has those 2 they have those 2 guest players, and it will help to enhance the team's ability.
With regards to the format of the competition, Jordan said as many as 24 games will be played, with a total prize money of $500,000 up for grabs.
The format is a round robin. The wards are 12 wards. They're placed in groups of 3. They each play a round robin within the group. The best 2 goes through to the quarterfinals, and then we got from that standpoint, we enter a knockout stage until we reach the finals. The finals will be contested in a 2 best-of-3 series, and then the winner will be result.
Jordan said the tournament is already gaining momentum as the teams are busy winding down their preparation. He said the teams are eager to get into action, as is evident by the way they have been approaching their training.
Well, for example, last night, the All-Boys Charleston team, they were training hard at the National Sports Hall last evening. At the other wards, they're also practicing very hard. Like I said earlier, the rivalry is there. We want Kitty Campbellville to come out this and support. They want to destroy sports-wise, right? All-Boys Charlestown. North South Rhinefeld got a contingent. They want to show that they are the champs. So this is the rivalry, and this is where the excitement and the level of basketball will rise. So it's all there. The wards are so hyped up.
While the winning team will collect $200,000, individual awards will be presented to the most valuable player, the most rebounds, most assists, best free throw shooter, most blocks, and best three-point shooter. General admission to the games is $500, while children under the age of 12 will be admitted free. The competing wards are defending champion All-Boys Charlestown, Wortmanville Working Rust, North South Ramfeld, Macdoom Diamond, Alberton Border, Kitty Campbellville, Pleasance Vryslust, Melanie, Buxton, Lodge Meadowbrook, East West Ramfeld, and Tugville Guyhawk.
Thanks, Avinash. Guyana's leading squash player, Nicolette Finance, has jumped to her highest world ranking ever, according to the September release from the World International Squash Players Association. The 30-year-old is currently ranked number 22 in the world, getting past her previous highest ranking of 26, achieved in June to July this year.
Her present ranking is an improvement from August when she was rated 28. It is a remarkable turnaround for Finance, who only at the start of 2009 was rated a lowly 249 after a recurring knee injury had kept her out of action for a protracted period of time. Since returning from injury, however, Guyana's most decorated squash player has been on the rise, significantly moving up the ranking with each passing competition. Such was her outstanding performance that at the end of 2009, Finance, who is based in England and is under the expert guidance of the award-winning coach Carl Ince, had taken her ranking below 100, ending the year at 88. Ever since then, it has been a steady climb up the ladder for the multiple Sportswoman of the Year, consistently racking up points and making her way up the Whisper leaderboard. So far for 2013, Finance has played in 5 WSA World Touring Series in 4 countries, namely the United States of America, Malaysia, Ireland and England. She played in the Cleveland Open in February, the Kuala Lumpur Open in Malaysia, the Irish Open in Ireland, the Texas Open in the USA, and the British Open. In May, Finance produced her best performance of the year on the international stage, finishing as runner-up to number 1 seed Madeleine Perry of France in the Irish Open. During her journey to the final, Finance also toppled some leading players, including number 2 seed Samantha Tehran of Mexico, 4th seed Emily Whitlock of England, and qualifier Sarah Cardwell of Australia. After that, she suffered first-round exits in the Texas and British Opens in May, crashing out Dion Safri of Wales and Rachel Grinham of Australia. Last month, Finance returned home to claim her 5th Caribbean senior title, taking less than 30 minutes to dispose of Barbados' Karen Meekins 11-6, 11-2, 11-5, and the final of the Caribbean Area Squash Association Senior Championships at the Georgetown Club.
Remember, you can read about these stories in tomorrow's edition of the Guyana Times, and when you're not reading the Guyana Times newspaper or watching TVG Channel 28, tune in to Radio Guyana 89.3, 89.5 or 89.7 FM. Your bridge reports are next. Welcome back. It's now time for a look at your bridge reports. The Demerara Harbour Bridge will be closed on Friday, September 6 at 5 hours 30 for a period of 1.5 hours. The Berbice River Bridge will be closed on Friday, September 6 at 1700 hours for a period of 1.5 hours. That's your Thursday, September 5, 2013 edition of the Evening News. I'm Michael Young. Thank you very much for joining us and encouraging you to do join us at 7 a.m. for morning news with Samuel Suknandan. Goodbye.